Yeah, this is the unit, still apart. Um, I think the motor board for that one axis, the 0 to 90, I think it went bad. That's this one here. I don't think it's the board. I think it was the little chip thing that goes on top of the board. Now I went back to this guy. I don't know if I mentioned him before or not, but he talks about the adjustment on this guy here, the little pod. I told you there was a little pod right there. It's hard to see it because my hand is blocking the light. But this thing here, little pod, and you have to adjust it. And along with that, on the video, he said that if the motor, if the card wasn't hooked to the motor, that it basically destroys this chip thing, because you got the current going in there and it's got no place to go. So I don't remember if I didn't have this disconnected or had it disconnected. But anyway, I think that's what happened, was that somewhere along the line I might not have connected this, and I had the unit on, and it might have done some damage to this little chip thing. So what I did was I ordered 3 of these. They're not the same type, they're smaller, but they come in a little package like this, and they come with the little chip thing on top. Ordered 3 of those and 3 of those. Well, there's 3 of these and 3 of these. Now, like I said, this was the original one, which is a little bit bigger than this one. It's not that this one is cheaper. It is cheaper. This one's a little more expensive. But it's the fact that the delivery on this one is a lot longer than this one. And I'm not sure if it'll work, but I thought I'd give it a try. So I hooked it up in here, and put some wires on it, and I got the it says use a 9-volt. So I ordered this 9-volt 1 amp, which is 9-volt 1000 milliamps. Same thing as this it's the one from my Harbor Freight light. $1,000 milliamps, 9-volt. Yeah, I got this work light from Harbor Freight a couple of years ago, and it's the same thing. But I need that, so I didn't want to cut the wires on that charger, so I ordered one. I had to cut the wires on it to splice it in here, because this one, the old one, you could use anywhere from 12 volts to 24 volts, but nevertheless it says 9 volts, so that's what I'm going to use. So I checked this potentiometer switch for the 0 to 90 degree. I got the thing under there, the little gauge, the 0 to 90 degree potentiometer, and it was bad. I said before that I put it into this socket instead of this socket back here. So I put 12 volts through a 5 volt unit. So I got two new ones, and I already got this one installed here. Going to test it out, and this is the spare. And I ordered two of these shields. Now this one's got the yellow backlight instead of the dark blue. Maybe it'll be a little easier to read. That's what I'm hoping for. And I want to put that inside of here, inside this new control box, which is the same thing as this one here. But this one I want to put on the spin indexer, and I want to upgrade it, because before, when I did the spin indexer box, I had to buy the box, and then you got to put all the holes in it, and had to make special mounts to mount the motor thing inside the box, and had to do this, had to do that, make it work. And I mean, it was a lot of work. So what I'm thinking is I want to 3D print this thing, and then the shield mounts inside of it. Well, you put the buttons in the holes first. Then the shield mounts in there. Then I had a cover for the back. Well, the cover's like that one. Remember, I made that cover and had that slot in the bottom because I was trying to put a little air vent in there, like a louvered vent, and it didn't work. So I had to make another cover. Well, I didn't actually make this one. We hired a new guy, and I had to show him how to use the machine. So we practiced on this part, and he did a pretty good job. It fit. And I put a hole in the back for the fan, and yeah, while he was there, we did a little profiling on these parts. I drilled the holes and did a little profiling, and There's 4 of those. And it was just something that, you know, we're working on. I really can't imagine what I'd use them for. We were just, you know, trying stuff. But that kind of looks like it might fit that part, but I'm not saying it will or it won't. But hey, you know, I had to let the guy practice, and we couldn't work on our parts, so we just grabbed anything and started making stuff, and made this little wrench. He called it a key. I don't know why he called it a key. Little hex thing with like a little handle, and you know, I really can't imagine what I would use that for. You know, it's just like a practice piece. Yeah, I really can't imagine what I would do with that. Yeah, I know. It's terrible, isn't it? Oh, man. Oh, then we had to do a little engraving. Now, he engraved this part. And he did okay. Except he spelt encoder wrong. It's supposed to be ENCODER. So I had to redo it. Well, I had him redo it. And I got it around here somewhere. I just don't know where it is. But, yeah, you know, we were just getting used to the machine. So anyway, on this part here, you know, before I talked about, I had this wall here. There was a wall here. And I talked about making this plate to go on there so you didn't have to dig all that material out from inside of there. And the more I thought about it was, you know, I just cut that material away and use a little piece of 90-degree aluminum, make a part to fit there instead of this plate. I mean, this plate would work. Well, it did work, but we wanted to make it a little better. So I thought, well, I'll just cut this away with a saw and use some 90-degree aluminum, and I just chewed it up a little bit and ended up with this. So that way, you know, you could wire up the Arduino and the shield, and all the cables can be attached. You just run it through here, then you set it in there, and you just put that in place, and you're ready to go. You don't have to feed the wires in through there and then, you know, feed them out here and solder it up and this and that. You can just do everything outside, kind of like this box. Everything is done outside, and then these fittings are put in through these slots where you put the wires through there, and you back up the fitting, and then you put the nut on the back. But everything's fed through those slots, so you could wire this up first. And what I want to do is the original idea was to take this box, well, this box here, which is the one I have mounted on the unit here, is take this back piece and extend it out, put a piece in the middle, then I could put the motor controller inside of here. I'd have to, you know, I got to make a spacer for it in the mounts, and then put the cover on the back, and you have a unit that's handheld or mounted. Because I got the 2 holes I put in the bottom for the threaded inserts, and I got to make a mount for this. I'm going to 3D print that because this thing is like 1.5 inches tall, and I thought about making a piece. I mean, to make it is really simple, but there's a lot of hogging material out, and like I said, it's 1.5 inches tall. And be honest with you, it's a lot easier to 3D print it because you'd have to hog so much material out, and being 1.5 inches tall, you have to have a nice tall piece to start with. So it's just easier to 3D print it because it's going to look like a rectangle with 2 bars across it where these mount to. And what I did was there's the heatsink that gets mounted on there. I had the same issue with the spin indexer, and this heatsink gets mounted to this piece here with those 2 screws, and this one side had another fin on it, and I cut it off. I got the fin around here somewhere. But anyway, I cut that one fin off so you'd have more room for the mount. So that's why I have this off. Last time I set it up, and I had this in the machine, and I had it set up like this, and I was cutting the top of it with an end mill, and you know, I don't, you know, I was being careful with it and everything last time, but you know, I didn't have to do that. So what I did was I just took it off, put it on a bandsaw, and just cut that one piece off. It was actually this end. Just cut that one piece off, put a little radius on there, and it was a whole lot faster. And you know, you're achieving the same result in quicker time. There's no point in setting that up on the milling machine and cutting it. Yeah, I have it here somewhere. This is a little confusing right now. I mean, when isn't it confusing? But I've been pretty busy. I got the voltmeter out so I could adjust that voltage on that. But I wanted to show it to you in case something happened. It might not be here if it caught on fire. But anyway, I think this box is going to turn out really good. And like I talked about before, is going to try to get the files so I can throw them out there so other people can have it, because it can take the place of like the spin indexer, or even this guy here if you wanted to mount the motor controller inside of here. I'm going to put a spacer. I know it's a little hard to visualize it now, but when I get it done, you know, it'll be a lot clearer. And I like the idea of mounting this like that. That way you can pre-wire it and stick everything in there, and then just put this on later. I think it'll work out real good. Yeah, these are what the buttons look like. I didn't show you that last time because they were already inside the unit. But this is that little base piece I was telling you about. Whoop. I just went under there, hiding. Yeah, I got a couple of them. I got, what is it, 6 of them? One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. But anyway, yeah, it's that's those guys there. So we're getting somewhere. I hope to have this back together pretty soon. But you know, it doesn't do me any good if I don't have this motor working. All right. Talk to you later.